Yes, good evening. Welcome to another bit of your daily dose of SirToshi's news. Today's day is Wednesday, the 4th of October 2023, the year of BSV. Buy BSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online, the original protocol and genuine Bitcoin. Right, let's get into it. So we are just going to report on this one. So it looks like Shadders. Haven't heard from him in a long time. Posted this and then edited it literally at 9 p.m. this evening, so about 40 minutes ago. So just going to read through this and see what he says, because this should be quite interesting. And this was in response to Calvin's tweet here. So Calvin has said, it's not in question whether or not Craig created BSV, and it is clear that this is the original Bitcoin. If Craig is not Satoshi, then he is for sure the world's foremost authority on enterprise blockchain, and BSV currently has a global monopoly on this space. That was earlier today, 7:33, and so Shadders has retweeted this and put his own statement above it saying, let's be honest, Calvin, regardless of who you think created Bitcoin, Craig had zero to do with creating Bitcoin SV other than forcing it to be necessary with his tantrums. Well, the SV team created a node implementation on crazy short notice out of nothing, and some of us didn't sleep for a week to get us through the hash war intact. Craig did nothing but spit venom on Twitter, turn everyone against us, and go to bed early. I brought the rest of the team that did it on stage with me at CoinGeek London 2020, and we publicly thanked you for your role. Craig never said thank you to a single one of us or to you. Please stop giving Craig credit for the hard work of other talented people. His contribution to Bitcoin SV has been wholly destructive and self-serving. Disappointed. At best to hear that, so let's kind of like break it down just to have a bit of a discussion on this. So he said, let's be honest, Calvin, regardless of who you think created Bitcoin, Craig had zero to do with creating Bitcoin SV. Right, well, the fact is Bitcoin, the Bitcoin protocol was corrupted via SegWit. So literally, when you segregate the digital signatures from the transaction data, you remove all contractual credibility and economic value from the chain. So that statement there is very misguided, because it was BTC that was literally utterly corrupted in one foul swoop, and they if they had broken the chain of signatures, that would have been Bitcoin gone forever. It was absolutely essential that chain of signatures continued, which is why, and being a commodity protocol, effectively, if somebody is going to break the chain of signatures, they could have literally got rid of Bitcoin forever. So it was absolutely essential that those chain of signatures continued intact, with the rest of the protocol around them. And because the protocol is a commodity protocol, it's vulnerable, but it has to be vulnerable in order to have economic value, because it has to be common to everybody. It can't have any central point of authority or control protecting it from the inside. It has to be protected externally via patents. But before those patents had been granted, and they can't be granted when the creator of the network is under a pseudonym, and the network had to go through that period of neutral organic growth, so it was absolutely vulnerable, and Blockstream absolutely corrupted it, took complete control of it, segregated the signatures, meaning that they have control of the signatures, meaning that they are accountable to nobody, which means they have absolute control of the network, making it fundamentally worthless. And again, the same happened to BCH. They were attacking the chain of signatures, and you can tell because every time you alter the protocol, you see the changes in the legacy address. It's the number one legacy address, which is part of the template of the protocol, which is why it's number one. There will only be one digital commodity, and all the genuine Bitcoin legacy addresses start with the number one, because data can only be commoditized one way. So BTC legacy addresses started to begin with the letters BC or the number 3 on or past the 24th of August 2017, and then BCH, when they changed their protocol, that went on that started on the 15th of November 2018. So people will say, oh, BSV was started on the 15th of November 2018. No, not really. The number one legacy addresses just simply had a change of ticker symbol, but that is it. So quite disappointing to hear Shadders saying that and saying Craig had tantrums. I mean, Craig is genuinely Asperger's, so he probably has trouble expressing himself, and I can imagine him going off on one, because I mean, this is his life's work that he knew they were trying to tamper with. He probably couldn't express himself very well, but I guess the tantrums would have been justified it in his mind. I guess it's people not really understanding what Asperger's is, and certainly not understanding the economic and legal implications of the corruption that was going on. So, I mean, this is a classic case of a dev, not understanding the economic and lawful fundamentals of a commodity protocol, not really understanding the difference between securities and commodities. So, yeah, that's a shame. So the next one, while the SV team created a node implementation on crazy short notice out of nothing, and some of us didn't sleep for a week to get through the hash war intact, Craig did nothing but spit venom on Twitter or turn everyone against us and go to bed early. Well, I mean, I guess this was Craig. I think Craig was like trying to manage it, but saying just sort of spit venom on Twitter, well, spit venom towards those people who are trying to corrupt it, and then he's saying turn everyone against us and go to bed early. I don't know, it's starting to sound sort of suspicious. It's starting to, I mean, I don't want to say it, but it sounds a little bit suspicious, like Shadders might be in on this corruption. I mean, who knows? So he said, I brought the rest of the team that did it on stage with me at CoinGeek London 2020, and we publicly thanked you for your role. So, I mean, it sounds like he's schmoozing up to Calvin, and it actually sounds like he's trying to drive a wedge between Calvin and Craig, which again is just more political skullduggery from my point of view. And they said, Craig never said thank you to a single one of us or to you. Well, Craig is Asperger's, and I think everybody was going through a lot, dealing with a lot. Craig has changed a lot since this hash war 2018. I myself did write to Craig. I can't remember what it was. I just pleaded with him to stop being a dick. But all it took was a little bit of explanation on the difference between positive and negative language, and the structure of a conversation, and then I'm absolutely certain that Craig, when receiving that information, did a whole load of research himself on how to communicate with people, because the demeanor and the way he communicates has dramatically improved since I've known him. I mean, especially since you compare him on stage in Uganda, I think it was in 2013, in comparison to when he invited Elon Musk over to the CoinGeek London in 2018. I mean, massive improvement. Stefan has also said, it's like having Craig back like he was in the beginning. And I spoke to him at London CoinGeek as well. He was laughing, he was jovial, he was in good spirits. And he even said, I've been angry for a long time, and you would be if you're Asperger's, because you don't understand why people lie and cheat, and why they think such short term. And he created Bitcoin out of a necessity of wanting a world that he can understand, where people speak the truth. I mean, it's phenomenal what he's created. So. Yeah, rather saddened to hear Shadders posting this. And then he said, please stop giving Craig credit for the hard work of the other talented people. His contribution to Bitcoin SV has been wholly destructive and self-serving. Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like trying to drive a wedge between Calvin and Craig there. All sounds like political sabotage to me, unfortunately. But it is all due to this. The largest court case in financial history, the Cabal. I mean, crikey, if you want to know what the Cabal is, just watch my Silverfish documentary, tracking down the COVID-19 conspirators. follow the money. You'll see that how the money has been corrupted. The gold was stolen from the European countries during the Second World War, and then those who funded Hitler, had their currency backed by gold and created a world reserve currency, then removed the gold standard, turning it into securities fraud. It's absolutely horrendous what's gone on. So, as I said, it's all about this. The largest court case in financial history. The cabal masquerading as Copa versus Bitcoin on the 15th of January 2024. Stay tuned and we'll bring you more. And until then, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.